Hello, everybody. I am live today. I am solo. We're saving the best show for tomorrow, Monday morning at 7:45 a.m. Central Standard Time for our reaction show, game summary, and our thoughts on the game that was just played with the Rutgers victory and how we did on our predictions. All tomorrow. The purpose of this video today is I just wanted to talk about. Um, my reaction to the game, my past reaction to the previous games, and fans' current reactions to previous and games now. So Iowa wins, girl summary, 27-10 over Rutgers. Defense outscores the offense 14-13, and Rutgers gets 10 points. I believe they picked up 7 points in the fourth quarter. Um, once in a while, our defense just does that. Things just don't click right and the defense gives up a touchdown. It would have been great if we could have not given up that touchdown, but that's neither here than there. The most important thing is the Hawkeyes walked away with the victory. But given that, I just want to talk about how well Spencer Petras played. He played really well. Um, Let me bring up those stats real quick. And I bring this up only because he's still getting an awful lot of hate, guys. He's still getting so much hate. Okay. Um, so he was 11 for 17 and passing for 148 yards for an average of 8.7 per play with a QBR of 58.3. Um, I couldn't believe how much reaction I'm still seeing on that we have to replace Spencer. Spencer's improving. As the O line improves, he will improve. Okay. You cannot any mistakes that he made yesterday, the sacks and stuff, you can't put that on him. One of the players, I'm not going to call out his number publicly, but one of the players twice gave up a sack because he wasn't blocking anybody. Once he turned and it looked like he turned his back to the blocking and turned toward Petrus, but he had nobody to block. The guy he blocked ran right around him and sacked Petrus. Um, at another time, he turned around the wrong way and blocked air. He went to go block, and there was nobody there to block, and the guy went right through him. He didn't even see him. Can't blame Petrus for that. To say that he should have seen that that blitz coming, he probably did see it coming. But there's nothing you can do if your lineman isn't going to hold the guy back and give you just enough time to get rid of the ball. Okay. So that I think he has really showed improvement um, in that area. That's one thing I want to say. But okay, so even last week and the week before, fans were clamoring that Iowa, as long as they had Spencer, was never going to win another Big Ten or win a Big Ten game all year. Okay, and so there's a few others. I actually said in an emotional part that we might go 0-9 in the Big Ten if things don't change. Okay. They did change. Last week they improved, and this week they improved. Um, I did have them going 10-2 and winning the West this year. Um, now that we're 4 games into, um, now that we're 4 games into the season, and I look at and evaluate all the Big Ten teams, including Iowa. I see Iowa. I we may we have a chance to get to 6 or 7 wins. Okay. Um, I'll go over my theory here real quick. Right now, as it stands now, I see Michigan, Ohio State, and the Minnesota games as maybe pretty. I'm about 90% leaning toward losses. Okay, so there's 3 Big Ten losses with 4 total. Okay, I'm seeing Nebraska, Northwestern, Possibly Purdue right now as wins. That gives Iowa 3-3 in the Big Ten, or 3-3 in the Big Ten, right? So far, I'm seeing Illinois. Um, uh, who else we got on there? I got to start thinking here, guys. Did I get them all? Oh, I see Illinois and Wisconsin as 50-50 games. Those games could go either way. So Illinois, Wisconsin games, I think, are going to be key to whether Iowa gets enough wins to go to a bowl game. Um, is my humble opinion. So right now, I think that puts them at. I think what I just said. I think I've got them at 7-5 right now, and that's why I say I'm going to give the 50-50 games to Iowa because I believe they have a shot at those 50-50 games. Because I think the defense will get us there. So right now, my revised is 7-5, and I think the defense gets us there. But man, I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, we've upset Michigan before when they were ranked number 3 or number 4 in the country. We took down Ohio State a few years ago. At what they call the woodshed game. So that's possible. And in 2019, when Minnesota was rolling and ranking high and making some noise, we took them down, and they still finished ahead of us in the um in the Big Ten West, I think, for second place, and we took third that year. So it's possible. That's why I said 90% chance of loss. We get 10% chance of winning. I do think if the offense continues to improve like it has, I think if we can get our wide receivers back fully healthy well, I don't think we're going to have them all back by the Michigan game, but certainly we can have them back by the Ohio State game and definitely the Minnesota game. Um, and so I think we have a chance, but I don't give it a huge chance. I really don't. Right now I'm gonna give the West until I see something different, and I always reserve the right to change my mind. Right now, the way things are going, I'm gonna give the West title to um, Minnesota. Who finishes second? It could be anybody. Iowa. It could be Wisconsin, because I don't know what Wisconsin the rest of their schedule looks like right now. Um, and so, or even I don't know. I thought maybe Purdue was playing pretty well, but they're not playing that well right now. They're 2-2. So I look at Purdue as we'll see. I'm looking at it as a win right now. I'm looking at Northwestern as a win and Nebraska as a win. Okay, so moving on. I want to talk about the flip flopping people are doing on that. Okay, because last night I was listening to Sound Off out of Des Moines on WHO through iHeartRadio before I went to bed last night. You know how many people were saying, "Oh, Iowa's going to win the Big Ten. Iowa's going to win the West. Iowa's going 10-2. They've already Iowa State's their only loss this year. They're going to win out." And that defense, yeah, defense is going to carry them so far, guys. I want to example. Ohio. Well, look at what Ohio State did to Wisconsin yesterday, 52-21. That will probably be us in a couple of weeks. Okay. If Wisconsin can't stop them, and they've got a very good defense, I doubt if we can stop Ohio State this year. But we'll find out. Anyway, I digress. So I just kind of like, these are the same people who were calling the Sound Off show a couple of weeks ago, and were saying Iowa was doomed. They won't win another game this year. Blah 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 blah. And like I said, I qualified some of my negativity with if things don't improve. But I always felt in my mind that things would improve eventually. And I was the one that said last week's Nevada game was a get healthy game. I've said it here on the podcast. I said it in an article I wrote on the um, Hawkeye Iowa Hawkeye Sports page. I put it there that I felt that this was the time for the offense to get healthy. Did they play a very good team? No. I think Nevada's season is proving out that they're a horrible team. But Iowa needed that. They needed that to get healthy. They really did. So they needed that to get healthy that game, and so that improvement came over to this week. Okay, and we saw. I mean, they'll. You got to give Rutgers credit on their defense. Their defense was pretty darn good. Okay, I was surprised, and and I don't know that the punter. I don't know that the punter was that great. For them, I mean, I know that at the end of the night, I think he outpunted our punter by a tenth or something. But they also said that their punter had given up a touchback all year. We got a touchback on him. um, so but I just don't understand the fickle fans. I mean, if you want to get into it emotionally because you're a good fan, that's fine. Just qualify your negativity with saying, yeah, if this continues down this path, this is what I could see. Don't say this is what's going to happen. Peters sucks, get rid of him. Don't Kirk Ferentz sucks, get rid of him. Brian Ferentz sucks, get rid of him. Brian Ferentz is doing what I think is coming up with some plays that are keeping that are good plays that his team can handle. First of all, as an offensive coordinator, you got to find your talent. What can they do good, and exploit that, and find out what is your team's weaknesses and try to hide that. And so, I think the plays that he's called have been very well. Some of the missed passes were passes that should have been caught yesterday. It's not all on Peters. I believe Jason posted an article that said that if you adjust his completion percentage to cover those drop passes, I believe his pass completion percentage would have been 80%. That's pretty darn good, guys. That's pretty good for a guy who was being tore apart and rocked. And there's still guys. I read some threads today on Facebook the morning after. How many people are still down on him? Still down on him and saying that we only won because of defense. That's part of the game, guys. That's part of the game. Iowa is built that way. It's a complementary defense, offense, special teams. They're built that way to. They're built that way to. What do I want to say? To complement each other. When Iowa's defense is working its best, this is what you see. When it's clicking on all cylinders, that's what you see. The turnovers, the takeaways, the pick sixes, the scoop and scores, block punts that we had a couple of weeks ago. It's a shame that we had all that a couple of weeks ago against Iowa State, and we still couldn't have a victory because a fumble cost us the game, or a pick, or a Terry Roberts pick six. He fell down trying to go into the end zone, so he didn't make it there. Things like that, and so, and I believe, yeah, all that I think was on the same drive. But anyhow, I digress again. All I'm saying is that that fans, let's let the season play out. We're 4 games into it. Let's see what happens. I'm kind of excited right now. I mean, I'm not expecting Iowa to break down the doors with Rutgers this year. They have a very tough schedule. They really do, and um, let's see where this lands at the end of the day. I'm really anxious to see where we end at the end of the season. I really am. We could do this, guys. And I don't think 10-2 or 11-1 is possible right now. That's my personal opinion. But you know what? I could be proven wrong, and I'll come on here and say I was wrong. Okay. And yesterday I had yesterday's score. We'll talk about that with Jason and Paul tomorrow. I don't want to get into the things we're going to talk about tomorrow. I just wanted to really address the fickleness of the fans and stuff today, and how silly you guys sound making excuses, blaming Petras for bad passes yesterday or blaming him because he got sacked when the offensive line didn't do their job on that particular play. And by the way, the offensive line is improving. You can see that. Judged by the holes. Did you guys see the holes they were opening up yesterday for the running back? Hell, I got 2 bum knees and I could have run through those holes. I really could have. Um, and I don't know. It's just that's where I'm at right now, guys. I just had to address something. I was gonna write and type out a long little thing and put it on my page for everybody to read, but I just thought, if I do a short 15, 20-minute clip, maybe you guys will watch it and get it. And let's just get behind our Hawks. Let's quit being negative as fans. Let's support them and and understand that they've got some tough games coming up. Two of the next three games, they won't be favored in. And who knows how good Illinois is until, Illinois hasn't really faced anybody yet, anybody tough yet, and they're undefeated right now, I believe. And so let's find out, you know, hopefully I don't know who they play next week. Hopefully they don't have a bye week. Um, and maybe Illinois plays somebody tougher. We can get a better feel for who Illinois is. And then we take them on in 2 weeks. So the next two games are crucial. I think we can go 1-2 in those games. I'm hoping that out of Michigan and Ohio State, I think our best chance would be Michigan. I think Maryland proved that they can be hung with, but Michigan still look explosive. They seem to turn it on at the end of the game when they needed to. Uh, but yeah, well, let's find out, guys. Let's find out what happens, and even though let's understand the schedule, let's understand that anything could happen, wins or losses. Some wins are going to be a higher percentage than others, but let's just see where the season takes us. Let's get behind the team. Let's be positive and realize that this is a very, very talented team, and almost all these guys, a lot of these guys will be back next year. And the guys who are moving on are headed for the NFL. And so I'm excited to see what the rest of this year brings. I mean, I'd be tickled pink if we can come out of this with an 8-4 season. I really would. And that's only because of Iowa State, or I'd say 9-3. But yeah, 8-4, I would be happy with 8-4. And um, you know, this year, given our injuries, given the way the season started, um, given our lack of offense. I mean, and like I said, the last 2 weeks has shown that the offense is they're working on it. And I think Spencer's gaining more confidence. I think the receivers are gaining more confidence. Is it concerning to me that only one wide receiver took a pass yesterday? Um, Arlen Bruce got one for 5 yards. Nico Rahagini, or how you ever say that. I know Chad Leisical put out a little chart on how to say his name properly. But he had a chance at one, but he went sliding too far and fell down to get the ball. Other than that, we had two tight ends and two running backs catch the other passes, and one wide receiver catch one pass. So that just shows that we're leaning heavily on our tight ends again. All right, guys. I want to get out of here because I didn't want to go too much into the game itself because I'm saving that. We'll see you guys at live 7:45 a.m. Monday morning with Jason and Paul. Jack's Florida for all you guys out there. So yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning, and we'll get into the game itself. And I think Paul has some comments he wants to talk about too, the game. So those guys didn't come on with me today. Paul had to work, and so we're just gonna leave it at that right now. But tomorrow morning we'll be back together, and we will hit it hard, guys. Like I said, I just really my whole goal today was just to talk about the way the fans are acting, and just kind of point out a couple things that I thought were unfairly thrown on Petrus again. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Bye.